What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, I want to talk to you about one, Mr. Alan Dean Foster. Do you guys remember Alan Dean Foster? You better, because I talked about him on this channel, this very channel. This channel right here, right here. I got this channel swinging for you right here. Woohoo! Woohoo! Anyway, on this channel, I talked about Alan Dean Foster and how Disney does not want to pay him for his work. Well, Alan Dean Foster has something for yo ass, Disney. Alan Dean Foster gives a 0 a fizzucks, and he's talking about how he felt about The Last Jedi. And, it's strange when you don't pay somebody, how they're more apt to tell the truth, all right? And I guess by that logic, people that you pay, sometimes, maybe they don't tell so much the truth, So anyway, Alan Dean Foster, he's talking, and I'm listening. And this is on comicbook.com. And Alan Dean Foster says that he was trying to retcon, or he would have liked to have retconned The Last Jedi, because he says it's a terrible film. Facts. All right, so that's the headline. Star Wars novelist Alan Dean Foster wrote Episode 9 treatment, retconning The Last Jedi. Quote, "It's a terrible film. It's a horrible film. It's a disgusting film. It's an offensive film. The film needs to be thrown out into space or something. You know what I mean? Where it can just get away, go into a wormhole, a black hole, something. Asshole. All right, anyway. Novelist Alan Dean Foster wrote a treatment for Star Wars Episode 9 that the prolific author says would have retconned as much as possible from Star Wars The Last Jedi, as much as possible, which Foster calls a terrible film and a terrible Star Wars movie. Foster, who penned the novel adaptations for creator George Lucas's original Star Wars and the J.J. Abrams directed The Force Awakens, says he hated writer-director Rian Johnson's middle installment preceding what would become Abrams' Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. In Foster's unused treatment for Episode 9, the author attempted to correct or explain many of the silly things that Episode 8 of Disney Lucasfilm Star Wars trilogy. And he says, Episode 8 was out, it was a done deal, I saw it, and I thought it was a terrible film. I thought it was a terrible Star Wars movie. And there's no need to go into why, because every fan already has. Of course he's heard. He's heard the fan outcry. He knows the fandom menace. See, this is the thing. This is what I implore people to remember while they're trying to separate themselves from the fandom menace and, throw it away and pronounce it dead and all this stuff. These people are going to identify us as fandom menace even if you don't anymore. Because anytime a thoughtful, conscientious person, or intelligent person speaks up, that's the first thing we get attacked by. If you look at Twitter, they identify you as fandom menace before you identify yourself, because they know deep down inside that it is fandom menace that tends to question things like this. All right, so the fact that they would identify you as that would be a badge of honor. Never mind all the infighting and the disillusionment. It's just what it is, man. Every time you think you're out, they pull you back in. It's just how it is. All right, and we are being heard, and we are starting to see the very, very beginnings of change. Do we have a long way to go? Yes, we do. Are we going to have setbacks? Yes, we will. But we're on our way. There is progress. All we have to do is steady the ship and stay on course. All right? So he acknowledges that every fan has gone into why they don't like The Last Jedi. And he told this to Midnight's Edge. Shout out to Midnight's Edge. All right? He says, I thought, how can this be retconned? How can we fix as much as possible from Episode 8 in a proposed Episode 9? And I wrote a partial treatment for that, attempting in that storyline to explain a lot of the really silly things that happened in Episode 8. Really silly things. Foster's media representative was unable to get the treatment looked at by Disney because the Rise of Skywalker, I was about to say the Rise of Scalpatine, that's interesting, the Rise of Palpatine, had already entered into production. I did that for years, Foster said. I never expected Disney to do anything with that. In his Episode 9 treatment, Foster set out to explain why the untrained Rey suddenly has more force powers than anybody. After a brief visit to the watery planet of Ahch-To in The Last Jedi. How can I explain that away? And Can I somehow tie that into the fact that she was abandoned on her planet, on Jakku, and bring those two things together? Foster conceived of an idea to give Rey an undefined disease. Rey's going to have a disease that would have meant placing part of her brain or replacing part of her brain with electronics, making her part droid to explain her quickly acquired skills. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe she could have been Lando's daughter then. She's part droid, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that gives her the ability to learn remarkably quickly and also enhances her existing force powers. And that's how she can throw boulders around at the end of episode 8, Foster said. Also, it allows her to be instantly simpatico with other droids. I thought this would be a really fun story element, as well as explaining why and how she's able to do these remarkable things. The treatment also gives Luke Skywalker what I thought was a proper send-off at the end of episode 9. In The Last Jedi, Luke dies alone on Ahch-To after using the Force to project his image across the galaxy to Crate, where he confronts and taunts corrupted nephew Kylo Ren. At the end of it, there's a big battle on Coruscant with the Emperor's clones. I also managed to provide proper motivation for the character that they forced Boyega to fall in love with. I wonder why he's not naming her. He's not saying Rose Tico by name. He says, I also managed to provide proper motivation for the character that they forced Boyega to fall in love with. I give her something proper to do that justifies her character. So he's saying that the Rose Tico character was not justified. And of course he's right. What is she there for? Now, we're not talking about the lovely Kelly Marie Tran, all right? So don't start. He's talking about Rose Tico and how she had no fucking reason to be there whatsoever. All right? You know this to be true. Search your feelings. Okay. The Resistance maintenance worker introduced in The Last Jedi. At the end of the film, Luke is dying under a tree and Rey comes out. And Luke's last words are, "On Beru," which brings the whole thing full cycle. Okay, that is kind of sweet. I don't know why his last words would be Aunt Beru. You would think it would be, may the force be with you. You would think would be, Rey, I hate you, you know, suck my dick. I don't know, you know, but yeah, so he wanted it to be Aunt Beru. I don't know. I tried anyway, Foster said. I tried. When asked how he feels towards the sequel trilogy, Foster says, I liked episode 7 very much. I thought it set up a lot of really neat things that were never addressed in episode 8. I hated episode 8, and I thought episode 9 was good, not great, but good. Meh. All right. Well, there it is. I mean, that's pretty much the dynamic right there. You got two moldy pieces of bread, which would be episode 7 and episode 9, and in the middle, you got a big glob of steaming diarrhea, which would be episode 8. That's a very not appealing sandwich, if you ask me. It's like, what are you going to eat? The moldy bread around it, but you still got the diarrhea all up in your nostrils. You know what I mean? It stinks. No, you throw it out. And that's what needs to happen to the so-called sequel trilogy, what I call the Nyquil trilogy. You throw it out. Get rid of it. It makes no sense. It adds nothing to the mythos whatsoever. It's totally disposable. Nothing happened. You don't remember those characters. You don't love those characters. In 2 years, no one is going to feel anything for those characters except the people who defiantly hold on to them. The Reylos, the ones who are in defiance to the rest of us who actually have a functioning brain. Foster added, but if you like it, of course, that's fine. Foster added that by returning for what became The Rise of Skywalker, Abrams was stuck with the problem of trying to explain and deal with so many of the silly, ludicrous things that happened in episode 8. You can tell that I'm going to be asked to write episode 10, he laughs. See, there you go. Mr. Dean Foster obviously does not give a fuck. All right, like I said before, when you don't pay somebody, this is what happens. Revenge is a bitch, and there it is. So, you know, it just so happens that, you know, like I said before, we all know that he's telling the truth. You know, and we just didn't hear it from him. Of course, we heard it from Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, before any of this went down, you know. You heard it from John Boyega. You heard it from Daisy Ridley. I'm sure Carrie Fisher has something to say about it as well. Everybody knows that these movies were shit, you know. So let's just stop pretending. You have an opportunity here with what's going on with The Mandalorian. Even the biggest critics say that they could do something. This is a very important moment in Star Wars history. All right, you see the fork in the road. Like, which way you gonna go? All right, you could go this way towards Jake Skywalker, or you could go in a bold new direction and try to fix this shit, man. You know, just take a deep breath, Disney, Lucasfilm. Clean up the shit. You know, clean up what Kathleen Kennedy did. All right, she made a big old mess, and we have an opportunity to do something about it. You know, how many more stories do you have to hear like this where people just slowly come out and tell the truth? You know what I mean? We all know what happens, so let's do something about this, guys, and keep making noise. Like Doomcock says, stay angry. Let these people hear you. You know, but you also have to let them hear you when you do something when they do something right too. You know, you have to guide them the way that you want them to go. All right. Otherwise, you give them nothing to work with, and that's the thing. You know, if you whether you like or dislike the Mandalorian, whatever, it's like you do have to voice your opinion and feel free to do so. You know, so I applaud you. I applaud you, Alan Dean Foster. Bravo, bravo, encore. You know, I applaud you for telling the truth. I just wish more people would, and maybe we could get something done here. All right, guys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Get in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. Of course, you can catch me on Twitter. That link will be in the description. As always, guys, I hope you are well. Happy New Year to all. Wishing all of us the best. We sure could use it. And I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.